Hi guys, it's Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am an Ascension Master, Master Healer, Divine Guide, and many other things. For those of you who've been watching my channel, I've been showing you my role in this ascension. I have brought about this ascension for the earth. I have done a lot of mind-blowing things that don't make a lot of sense in the physical and in the logical world. But when it comes to the ascension and how God works, it makes perfect sense. Along my journey, I've had a major Kundalini awakening 3 years ago. And then my journey became something nobody understood, and that wasn't normal as far as what normal goes. And I had to do a lot of things that took me many years to process, let alone understand. This part of this video is specifically about my twin flame journey. I've had to learn a lot about this journey, my twin flame, and I've contemplated doing this video. But in truth, I'm kind of left with no other option but to do this video, because he affects me greatly to this day. It affects my channel to this day. And after Valentine's Day, I wanted nothing more than to eliminate his contract with me and get him out of my life. However, I can't do that. That's not an option. The contract between my twin flame and I is quite complicated. It's not something I did consciously. It was created subconsciously. It was created in the spiritual sense, in the spiritual realm, in order to ascend, in order to unite twin flames, in order to clear karmic contracts, and in order to rewrite the blueprint of love. That's what his and mine was truly created for. He had a purpose much like me in this ascension, where we had to come together and bring down God's love and light. And it didn't happen that way. Unfortunately, God's been hurt in this scenario. 222. I was pretty much almost killed in this scenario, and I'm sure my twin flame has been as well. I'm sure he is tattered and tired, because I know I am. But I'm going to talk about the full gamut of what this is, what this means, what this represents, why it affects me so much, why I'm not just lucky enough to be able to get him out of my life. Because he's hurt me to that point where he killed the most magnificent love. It's not dead, but it's pretty much suffocated. And it would be so nice to just move on and do what I need to do and live for me and live for my kids, because I'm a beautiful person. I have a really big heart and I deserve many things. But there's more to this story than meets the eye. There's more to this story than is surface level, and it takes a lot to process. So there's a lot of components to the story as well that matter. After I had my awakening, I went on a healing journey which sparked my awakening, spiritual one. And after I had my awakening, I was given lots of information through spirit, and I didn't understand what all of it meant at the time. There were some dreams that came through before, during, and after I met my twin flame the first time around. But when I first had my Kundalini awakening, I was shown a past life. I was taken on a past life journey, and I was shown this past life that was most significant to this one. In order to ascend, we have to clear karma. We cannot take karma with us. We have to clear a lot of things. I've had to clear it out of the collective, and we have to clear it individually. And that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years since I had my Kundalini awakening. My life was taken over. I no longer could live for myself. It was not about me anymore. I had gone to school for years for a psychology degree that I can no longer really utilize. It was a lot to swallow. It was a lot to fathom what was happening to me. But they took me on this past life journey, and I went to 1800s, 1863. And I saw myself do something in the 1800s. My husband, during that lifetime, beat me up so bad he killed my baby. I was pregnant in the 1800s. This is what I saw. And he beat me up so bad, I miscarried that child. I lost that baby. And I was far along. I had a big old belly. Well, in the 1800s, it was all about eye for an eye. So I drugged him and I killed him. I drugged him so he wouldn't suffer, because I wasn't about suffering. And I shoved something through his throat right here, and I saw myself do it. 555. This was during that past life regression that I did. You know, he killed my baby, and my reaction was to kill him. I was who I was then. I don't think I was awake yet, though. I was probably in my 20s when I did this act. But I drugged him, and I stuck something right through here, and I took his life. That was all I got to see of that lifetime, but it was significant to this one. In this lifetime, every bit of that has occurred to me already. I didn't kill somebody, though. I would not do that. But it was about clearing that karma. So I was born into a family of druggies. I've never done drugs myself. I've never been a druggie. I don't have addictions, which becomes relevant in my twin flame story again. But I was born into a family of heroin addicts, hardcore druggies, abusive people. Not nice. My mom hated me. She was very jealous of me. She tried to kill me several times, I found out. It was a very rough life. My brother became a meth addict by the age of 16. He put a line in front of my face by the time I was 12 years old, which I did not do. I was always different. I was always the black sheep of the family, the white sheep of the family. I didn't fit in. I wouldn't do the drugs. I wouldn't lie like they did. It was never right with me. I never fit in with my family. It was a horrible place to grow up. It was a horrible place to be. And that's where I was raped. I mean, you name it, they did it to me. When I was 13, my mom was letting my boyfriend at the time, who became my husband eventually, I met him when I was 13. And my mom was letting him live with me. He was significantly older than me, 4 years older. And I got pregnant at the age of 13. I didn't know any better. I was a child pretending to be an adult. And to my mom, this was normal behavior. This was okay. But I did tell her I thought I was pregnant at 13. And she told my brother. And she said, "We'll take care of it." She shut the door in my face. The next day, my brother came in and beat the shit out of me. He beat me so bad. I was doing everything in my power to protect myself. I was black and blue all over my legs, my tummy. I was black and blue. He beat me up really bad, threw a trash can at me. I mean, it was a lot. Other people were home, but they didn't do anything. And by the next day, I miscarried that baby. At 13 years old, I went into a lot of pain. My ex-husband, who was a boyfriend at the time, was with me. And I didn't know what that pain was. It was just hurting. I was on the floor screaming and crying. It hurt so bad. And then all of a sudden, it felt like I had to go to the bathroom. Mind you, I was 13 years old. And I felt like I had to push, like a big poop. And it was not that. It was a baby that came out in the toilet. And I looked at this baby, and it was not a little zygote. I had to be about 4 or 5 months along. And I didn't know what to do. We ended up flushing the baby down the toilet. And my mom would not take me to the hospital. Her reaction was, "Now it's done." And they wouldn't talk about it anymore. Nothing. My brother struggles with this. He was only 4 years older than me, too. He was a child as well. This is what my mom had him do. So that's significant to that past life right there. Did I kill my brother? No. I felt sorry for him. And I just cried and wept and mourned. Lo and behold, I wasn't supposed to have any kids after that because they never took me to the hospital. It caused damage, but I didn't know, which is why I ended up having a lot of miscarriages as I got older. But I do have 3 beautiful children. two of by that guy, who became my husband later on, who was very abusive, by the way, and really messed me up bad. Okay, and I've had to forgive him through this journey. I don't ask for people to judge. This is part of my story. It's part of who I am, and it's part of what I've had to clear in this lifetime. So I was born into a family of heroin addicts. My brother beat me up, killed my baby. My mom was horrible, horrible to me. Like, it was a lifetime of horrible, horrible, horrible things. I could tell you stories that would blow your mind, but the problem is most people just judge. However, I was always a good girl. I never lied, cheated, stealed. I didn't like that stuff. I was never comfortable with it. I was always trying to be something different. I finished high school, where most people in my family did not. I went to college. I wanted to be a good mommy. You know, when I finally had my first child at almost 21, that's all I wanted to do was be a good mommy. Be the mommy I never had. And I think I have succeeded in that. I have 3 beautiful children who are gone through a lot, and they have really good heads on their shoulders. So, you know, I spent a lifetime trying to be the good person. I don't do drugs. I don't do anything. The only thing I ever did was smoke pot. It's legal in Colorado. This is where I live. But to me, it was significant because my family was heroin addicts. So I'm like, I'm good. I'm a good person. And anytime I had a nudge to quit, I would quit. It was never that big of an issue for me. I had 4.0 in medical school. I went to psychology, had a 3.9, 4.0 throughout. I'm very smart. I took on this world, and I did a better job than my family did. And so that past life of 1800s is rather significant in a few ways. Which is why when I met my twin flame, I ended up pushing him away. Okay. Because he wasn't nice. He wasn't nice to me, and he was younger, and he liked to party. And I had spent a lifetime trying to make sure that this didn't hurt me anymore. When I met my twin flame, Spirit told me he was my twin flame. I didn't know what a twin flame was. I had heard little vaguely things about it throughout history, but I would ignore it. I would like, that's silliness. So I didn't know at all what a twin flame was and how significant he was to the ascension and my story and my life and what was going to happen. And he was not nice to me. He dogged me. He treated me like I was nothing. And then pretty much told me he was choosing me or drugs. And I told him, well, don't make that choice, basically. I made it for him, and I left. I stopped talking to him. And Spirit kept warning me. And I met somebody else who was Sean, that I fell in love with, and he fell in love with me. And he treated me quite well. Sean did not do drugs. He would smoke pot every now and then, but he grew up in a very religious family, quite the opposite of me. So he had a very big family, loving family, and I'm like, this is perfect. He loved my kids. He had kids of his own, which I was getting ready to meet. He was getting ready to introduce me to his mom, his kids, and then propose. And in that time frame, Spirit kept nudging me. Like, throughout that whole time, they were like, okay, well, here, let me backtrack a little bit. When I met my twin flame, Spirit had me not smoking anything. I wasn't allowed to smoke pot. I had to quit when I had my Kundalini awakening, and I had no problem doing that. I was very proud that I did that. My vibration went higher and higher and higher. And then I met my twin flame. And I'm like, why would you do that? Because he smoked. And I asked God, why would you do that? And God's like, you can have fun. Right? Just fun. And so I'm like, okay. So I started letting my guard down a little bit with this guy. And they told me he was my twin flame, like I said, but I didn't know what that meant. But he already was hurting me, like, badly. He did something to my heart. It, like, opened up. And every pain I've ever had just started, like, spewing out of me when I met him, which I was, like, freaked out about. I'm like, oh, my God, shut down, shut down, shut down. And of course, he didn't understand this or care, really. I straight up told him my heart was in his hands, be very careful. And he didn't care. He hung up on me. He would tell me things like, oh, I miss you, but I don't. Like, he was not nice to me, okay? I didn't just dog him. He hurt me. So I left him. And I found Sean. And in that time frame, all of a sudden, I started wanting to smoke like crazy. And then I found out Sean smoked. And I'm like, why do you smoke? You were supposed to not smoke. And he kept bringing some over and I would smoke. And it was getting like overwhelming. Like I couldn't quit all of a sudden. Spirit's like, quit, work on the addiction. And I'm like, what addiction? And I remember telling Sean, like, I've never felt like this before. I can't quit. What is wrong with me? I was like reaching out for help, hoping that he would help me. I even told him, I think my twin flame and I are supposed to clear this addiction. I don't know what's going on. This is overwhelming me. I've never had this problem. And he would hear me and he would just say, yeah, it's definitely intense. And I'm like, yeah, so help me. And he wouldn't help me either. Like, I guess people don't know how to really cure addictions. And it was to pot, but it was like the most overwhelming addiction I've never felt that before. And it was getting worse and it was getting worse and it was getting worse. And I was battling it. And Sean knew that. And so he quit, and I was trying to quit too. And it was literally a battle of a lifetime. And God kept telling me, you gotta quit, you gotta quit. And I'm like, I'm trying. And then I thought it was just about me. Like I was a little bit distorted in understanding what was happening to me. I thought it was just about me. I'm like, well, I'm good, I'm good. It's okay. And so I didn't take it as seriously as I should have at that time. And then when Sean came back into my life, because I pushed him away at one point, came back into my life and was ready to marry me, set it up to where I was going to meet his kids in the future soon. I already had a date to meet his mom, which was a big deal for him. Spirit kept telling me, you're going to have a choice. This is not real love. And I'm like, wait a minute, I love this person. And they kept saying, you're going to have a choice. You're going to have a choice. And I'm like, where's my choice? I don't see a choice. And so I was moving forward with Sean. Then on August 13th, my neighbor at the time, who was my twin flame, actually said these 3 words to me that sparked a further awakening in me, which was, I love you. Which I started just, boom, it struck something in me. I started having realizations, downloads, an understanding of our purpose. Then we started energetically combining. But the moment he told me that, I could no longer allow Sean to touch me. It was overwhelming and it was significant and I didn't understand it. I'm not a cheater. There's no reason for this to have happened to me, but it did. And it was very powerful. And I remember telling Sean, like, don't touch me. I belong to somebody else. You can't touch me. I would not let him touch me anymore. From August 13th on, I could not. My massage table was significant. All of a sudden, Sean got injured and he's like, I need you to give me a massage. And I didn't want to. I got angry. But how do I tell somebody no who's injured? And so I ended up giving a massage on that table, which still to this day makes me sick to my stomach because I bought that table for my twin flame. There's a lot of significant things to this story. Okay, so 1800s, I drugged my husband and killed him because he killed my baby. This lifetime, I was beat up, same scenario. Baby was killed by my brother, couldn't kill him, couldn't do anything but have sympathy for him and mourn the loss. And then my twin flame has addictions that I was now feeling, and I did not understand that. I was battling them for him. These are very powerful addictions. These are things I've never felt before because I don't do those things. Pot is addicting, but not like that. Not like that. This was different. It was taking over my reality. I could not shake it, okay? And when they told me I was going to have a choice, and then I found out the twin flame thing was very real and how significant it was, then our energy started combining together, and I felt this love for him I've never felt for anybody in my life. It was beautiful. It was magnificent. I felt so much love for my twin flame, my soulmate. I found out he was also my soulmate, not just a twin flame. and how I hurt him when I left him, but I didn't know because he didn't tell me that. And everything just started making more sense to me. And at that time frame, he was with a fallen angel, very dark, dark entity, somebody who is not connected to God. And he's still with her as far as I know. And I guess he went off the deep end and got worse and worse with things, which I felt. I was battling it, but I didn't understand it. I've never dealt with addictions like that because I'd never had the problem. My whole family did, and I shunned them from the time I was little because it hurt me. And so this was a lot to process and a lot to take in, and I felt like I was crazy. Sean didn't understand it. He's like, he knows who I am, and he knows what I do is real. He was with me through the Jesus rising. He was with me through a lot of things, but it was all proven to him. You know, he did his due diligence where he just paid attention, and everything was proven to him for who I am. And so he was listening, but it was hurting him. He didn't understand why I couldn't touch him anymore. I told him I belonged to my neighbor. He didn't understand it. He's like, he doesn't want you, which turned out to be true. But according to God's plan, we were supposed to come together and change the blueprint of love and bring down God's love and reunite the twin flames, 21-22. And I was supposed to help him heal. Okay? That was the plan. We changed contracts. I saw it happen. It wasn't something I created to happen. I witnessed it. I witnessed the old contracts written in red were dissolved, and then we wrote new ones. And I didn't get to see it until I fully removed Sean out of my life. Then Spirit showed me that contract. And our contract was beautiful. It was written in light, and it was about love and best friends and laughter and joy and lots of lovemaking and passion and healing. That was in our contract. It was nothing. It was a beautiful, beautiful. Who wouldn't want that? Marriage. That's my twin flames in my contract. All of this wasn't making sense. I had to process all of this that was happening to me. It unfolded on my channel, which I hate. Like, I don't want to talk about this on my channel, but my twin flame leaves me no choice. 22-20, he leaves me no choice but to do it this way because he just hurts me, and it affects me greatly. It affects my channel, and I don't think he understands it either. But when we started combining our energy, he started giving my light to that fallen angel, which did start to kill me. It was literally killing me. It was sucking out the life of me. I got blood clots in my leg. My leg turned black. I was screaming in the middle of the night for help. I was coming on my channel, which I deleted those videos, begging for help. Please hear me. Please hear me. I don't understand what's going on. Spirit kept saying they didn't expect this to happen. I didn't understand it. I didn't know what was happening to me, but I felt like I was dying, which I was. It was making me very, very ill. He was literally giving my light to her, which if I would have been with Sean, it would have been the same thing happening to him. But my twin flame didn't care. He apparently thought she was his twin flame. I don't know. She put the blindfold on him. She kept putting daggers in him. Spirit kept trying to tell him on my channel what was happening. He wasn't listening. He didn't literally care that he almost killed me. This, makes me hate my twin flame, and I can't hate at all. It's not who I am, and it's not part of my purpose here, and I cannot just destroy that contract. Because believe me, I've asked. Because he just keeps hurting me. And then all of a sudden, since that happened, Spirit's like, don't put anything in your body. There was a divine intervention on my channel. I couldn't have anything in my body that was not natural. I was scared to. Like, all of a sudden, the craving went away for the pot, and I was so thankful for that because it wasn't mine. I couldn't control it. I didn't understand it. I'd never dealt with addictions before like that. I know what they feel like now. So when my twin flame did that with her, divine intervention occurred, and then the next thing I knew, he took off with her and left people in his apartment, which they didn't pay for. There's a sheriff's notice on his apartment. So he left bad people there. His whole plan kind of foiled out, but he left me, and it hurt. I was moved here for my twin flame, and he left with a fallen angel. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's very real. They hijacked our timeline for the ascension. They blocked God's love from coming down. It was even talked about by other people, and I posted videos about them, the mark that we missed with my twin flame and everything. It's all on my channel. But I didn't understand it fully at all. And so I listened to Spirit completely. I'm like, I get it now. And it hurt. It was killing me. And they're like, if you want to live, you need to listen. And I'm like, okay. And so I just focused. It was painful. It was one of the most painful things. Physically, spiritually, emotionally, not only did he break my heart, he was literally tearing me from the light, tearing himself from the light. He changed the timeline. He was not protecting me like he was supposed to. He was not fulfilling his life purpose. Then they had to do a heart review on him. Because of that, he was being snuffed out as well. And I remember talking about that on my channel too. They had to do a life review on him, which they said he loved me. So they let him live. Like, they brought him back. They healed his soul, basically. So from that moment on, this was August of this year, I pushed Sean out of my life. I had to. If I've been with anybody since, my twin flame would feel it like I do. It hurts really bad. It is cheating. Because we signed that contract. We were already supposed to unite. That was our life purpose. Sorry. It's like 3 in the morning here, and I'm doing this for a significant reason, so I know the video is dark. But it's important, okay? Because this explains a lot. So I was supposed to be strong and help my twin flame heal his addictions. You think that's a coincidence that I was born into a family of druggies, that he struggles with addictions? And then I killed my husband in the 1800s with drugs and something in his throat right here. There's no coincidences, I'm telling you. And I had a dream when I first met my twin flame of a bunch of needles at my feet, and that I had to clear it, and then I was going to ascend. But the dream was very cryptic. Didn't quite make sense at the time, and I'm looking back now going, damn it. I spent a lot of time since August going, God dang it, I'm so sorry. And Spirit will keep telling me, it's okay, quit dwelling. You did your job, you did it well. But I've had to listen. Again, giving up everything that I am. I cannot drink, which I don't drink anyways. I don't like it because of my blood clot disorder. I cannot smoke pot. When I broke my hand, I didn't do surgery because I couldn't allow them to put all those things into my body. I was so scared it was going to hurt my twin flame and my life that I chose not to do surgery. And even at the hospital, they were putting fentanyl in my system, and I freaked out. I freaked out. I'm like, get me out of here. Stop putting drugs in my system. Well, there's so much pain. You're in a lot of pain. I'm like, I know, but stop putting drugs in my system. Like, it's been horrible. It's been one journey of major heartache and fighting an addiction that wasn't mine. It took me forever to figure out where it came from and why it was happening to me and the significance of it and why they would tell me I can't smoke, quit smoking. I am lucky in essence that was the thing I had to battle was pot, and nothing else, because I feel that addiction, and it's not fun, you guys. A true addiction is very, very intense. It is overwhelming. It takes over your system. It takes over your brain, your body, everything. It takes you over, okay, which is significant because I was finally getting to where I was feeling happy. I was finally getting to where I was getting my niche going, figuring out what I want to do with these videos because my main purpose has been served. They were the ones who told me to do YouTube. This was not my lifelong dream for me to be in the public eye, but they're pushing for it more. And so I'm doing what Spirit says, and I was getting into my balance for prosperity. Things were starting to feel better, and Valentine's Day was coming around the corner. And the angels came forth and told me to love myself. I'm one of a kind, and I'm worthy of that love. And that he was coming back. And I didn't want to believe it because he hurts me. That's all he's ever done. I don't believe he cares about me. I don't believe he's going to show up. This guy almost killed me. He doesn't care I broke my hand. He doesn't care the suffering that he's putting me through. Still doesn't care. I don't think he gets it. And the master that I am, I can't allow that to be any significant. I have to move past that. I have to look past what he's done to me. I have to look past the love he destroyed in me for him. And Valentine's Day came around, and all of a sudden I had this craving to smoke again. And I have not in a long time. I don't crave it. I've battled it here and there. It would come up and I would breathe it through, and they would warn me it was darkness, and I would deal with it and it would move on. Valentine's Day hit, and I'm pretty damn sure he chose somebody else. I don't know. All I know is he hurt me really bad, and all of a sudden the addiction was back. Tenfold. Like, I just wanted to smoke, just wanted to smoke, just wanted to smoke. So it's not healed. The divine intervention caused it to where I wasn't craving it so much. I've been able to handle it, but it's not healed. And since Valentine's Day, I'm like, I want him out. He doesn't love me. And this has been my conversation with God. He does not love me. I'm sorry. Please stop hurting me. Please stop hurting me. Please stop hurting me. I want out of this. And in that, I have the realization of that dream that I have to clear these things so I can ascend. And in hopes that even though my twin flame is trying to kill me and doesn't care that we have to ascend together, maybe God can do something and allow me to ascend without him. I don't know. Not all of this has made sense to me from day one, but this is the reality of it. So do I hate anybody? No, I cannot. I am tired of him hurting me. I'm tired of him being selfish, because that's even what Spirit said. I'm tired of him not seeing the significance of how he affects me and others around him, and how he's been hurting himself. And I want it to end off of my channel and be positive and not affect what I do, not affect my work. But it still does. And all of a sudden, this addiction took back over again. It's like, it was so intense. I just had to sit still and sleep. Like, I didn't know what else to do. It's very intense, and it's not mine. So this is what I'm thinking, is that he was about to come be with me and she intervened again, or something happened. And this guy, I'm sorry to say, is my soulmate and my twin flame, but he obviously doesn't love me. And as much as that hurts to say, I can't believe anything else, because it just hurts me. It hurts me to believe he does love me, because he doesn't show up. He doesn't stop hurting me. He doesn't care if I died. And I know none of this makes a lot of sense, but I know in his heart of heart, he knows it's real. Especially after his frozen heart has been melting, because I actually saw it melting. But here's the thing, is that I have to be the master in me, 3233, and I have to heal this addiction. Psychology has all these things you do to cure the addiction, but you never heal the addiction. You never do. That's why they relapse. Okay? And we're all addicted to something. Spirit wants me to say that. We are all addicted to something. So don't judge. Okay? This is significant, and it takes over their life. It takes over your soul. It takes over every bit of who you are. It's not a good thing. Okay? It is darkness. It is darkness, and it causes you to fall away from the light. It does. Because you do things that cause you to do that. Okay? Like, puts holes in your soul. Addictions are very real. They're very powerful. And it's not the same person that's in there. That person is still in there with their heart. It just becomes blocked. And so never judge somebody who has an addiction, ever. I still love my twin flame, even though he doesn't love me. I just need the pain to stop. I would give anything to be happily married, have a family, and to have brought God's love down, because I chose my twin flame over somebody that loved me. I absolutely did. And I felt the love I had for him. It was very intense, very powerful, and very real. He has just spent the last 6 months destroying it. But that's where I'm at with it, and I can't sit here and hate it. I can't. The more I try to block it out, the worse it gets. It takes over the work I do on my channel, and I don't want it to do that anymore. And I cannot just dissolve that contract. That contract is bigger than I am and bigger than he is, and our higher selves created it. Our soul created it. God was there. It's a big deal, and it was for the ascension. And so my life, again, has been essentially taken over. I can't get a normal job. I keep getting blocked, where I have a really good resume. I'm licensed to the state. Partly because I broke my hand. I cannot do holds on violent kiddos anymore, but there's other avenues, and I would get the job, and then something would happen. Like, I was literally waiting for my background check, and that was a month ago. which my background is super clean. I've never been in trouble. This is what I've done my whole life, or since I've been able to work, is this line of work. So, you know, it's significant for my life, what I go through for this ascension, all the karma I've had to clear, who my twin flame is, the fact that he won't just step up and stop hurting me and help me causes me to have to express my truth in this way. But I think it's significant because it's a lot to learn about past lives. It's a lot to learn about spirituality, about this ascension, and how real it very, very is real. It's big. It's bigger than I am. It's scary for me in that if I don't clear these things and I wasn't able to unite with my twin flame, I could die. And I don't think he cares. I don't think he cares. He's probably like, oh, she's crazy, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to be over here in my own little world. But that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is my purpose in it, and that's all I can focus on. I can't focus on how much hate he's created in me, because hate is not real for me. It's hurt. It's deep hurt. But I don't hate anybody. I don't judge anybody. I know why he does what he does, because I see his wounds and I see his pain and I feel it. And I've always had love for this person, and I can't treat him the way he treats me. And I can't keep trying to push him off of what I do and out of my channel and out of my energy, because that's not working. It makes it get worse. So I will try to avoid doing things that will bring up a twin flame. But at the same time, I have to cure this. I have to heal it as a spiritual person. So that's what I've been doing the last couple days. I'm like, all right, God, let's heal it. I should have been doing this the whole entire time. Because, yeah, I haven't had anything in my system in a long time, but it still keeps coming up. It still keeps coming up, and I'll have to battle it, and they'll warn me. And this one was so strong, I had a hard time battling it. So, I have to cure this. I have to cure it for him, and I have to cure it for me. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work with spirit, and I'm going to completely eradicate addictions to where it's out of our system. I know how to do it. I know it's in me. I did it a little bit in working with the violent flame last time it came up, but it's still not cured. And I've been talking to them about where it's at, and they've told me where it's hidden. And so I'm going to do the work to do so. That is my twin flame update. I would give anything in the world for him to love me and stop hurting me and unite so that God's love can still flow through and we can heal each other and be twin flame soulmates like we're supposed to, and help everybody we're supposed to help. But in the meantime, I cannot be hateful. I cannot be spiteful, because that's not God. I don't judge. I still love this person. This person has had a rough life, and I know he's hurting. I just wish he would stop hurting me, but I can't let it keep affecting me on my channel and the work that I do, so I had to release it somehow. And this is a very educational way to do it, and it explains a lot of things. So I'm asking you guys not to judge. I'm asking you guys to have an open heart and open mind. I am who I am for a reason, and he is who he is for a reason. These are things we have to heal and clear to ascend, and I'm going to do it. Even if he hurts me every day, even if he's not with me, and my soul has a hole in it, if I went to be with anybody else, it would hurt him. I guarantee you. He would feel it, because I know I do. So in the meantime, I'm going to cure this addiction that's not mine. That's all I can do. So bear with me. I'm going to try to separate this work so I can get my good flow on my channel, high vibrational stuff I have in me that I want to bring forward for you guys. So I can rock this ascension the rest of the way with everybody and teach you the modalities that are within me as well, because I have more to bring forward. And I still have my massage table, because one of them is supposed to come through my twin flame and me healing him. So I still hold space for that. That's all I can do. But in the meantime, I cannot give up. I cannot let go. I have to cure this. I have to heal it. So that's what I'm doing. I will heal addictions, and then I will give that to all of you. So much love. See you later.